This episode is for news and educational purposes only. Please do not harass or harm anybody involved in this video. And let's just talk about what's going on with Nancy Pelosi and her husband. Apparently he likes men. That's not really a surprise. The Pelosi's a beard. But let's jump into this information and cover what's been said. Thank God Almighty, though, that I was marked safe today from having a hammer fight in my underwear. And every previous day. Lord is good. So let's dive into what the heck is going on. Here's what the internet had to say. The awful truth: Paul Pelosi was on drugs and in a dispute with a male prostitute Friday morning. Paul Pelosi stated he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised his name is David and that he is a friend. David DePepe tells investigators that he and Paul Pelosi were engaging in gay sex and an argument ensued over drugs. Pelosi's are refusing to turn over surveillance video of their home, fueling more speculation of homosexuality at the home. DePepe has arrests for male prostitution.
In San Francisco, it's all about, gay bathhouses, and it's all about round-the-clock sex. It's all, come on, man.
According to the internet, and not investigators, what do Jeffrey Dahmer and Paul Pelosi have in common? They both like getting hammered by gay dudes. Several commercial products started being sold in response to the shenanigans, such as the Love Hammer, for any time you want to really hammer anyone the way that happened in this situation or otherwise. And the Halloween costume Home Invader, which includes 2 hammers, underwear, gay pride, weed flag, ouch, Berkeley standards, and United Against Hate sign, as well as lube. Did anyone have any trick-or-treaters come to their door like this? I think I did. In case we have any brainwashed normies in the audience, there have been alternative, as in real, news people who dove into this to see that Pelosi's attack was by a homeless drug addict, and it had a lot more to do with drugs, pedophilia, than QAnon and anti-Semitism and January 6th, because these people would like to have you believe that a naked man broke into an official's home with a hammer in the early AM, and that this was somehow a January 6th attack. No. Mr. Pelosi and gay boy over here were caught in their underwear in the mid-AM with a hammer. They were doing some stuff, man. Come on.
A priority 910, 2640 Broadway, cross of Scott and Normandy. Hey, 14-hour copy. RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused. 12 over back and copy.
Units code 3 to 2640 Broadway for 14 hours.
Cover 12 over copy. 15 hour also code 3.
Cover 112 advice insufficient units on scene 2640 Broadway. Special call medic 66, location 2640 Broadway.
The story was confusing from the beginning, because at first they say that somebody else answered the door, and apparently Mr. Pelosi had time to call 911 and then to respond, because he didn't even get whacked with the hammer until the cops actually showed up. So the story is pretty weird. He doesn't know the dude, but he knows his name's David. Okay, Mr. Pelosi.
Okay, so is this the dude that was a former, nudist dude? Okay. Yeah, okay. Is it okay to say any of that stuff? No? Yeah, all right, cool. All right, so, but we kind of have a working knowledge of who this guy may be. Hang on 1 second. Let me go see what they've got over here. I'll call you back. Bye.
That was a reporter being caught on the phone saying the former nudist dude. So apparently this dude is just a well-known nudist. But he couldn't say anything that he knew about him. Based on that conversation, they told him, no, you can't say any of that. So why is everyone aware of who this guy is? Unfortunately, doctors for Paul Pelosi say they were unable to repair the narrative. In one article, I was able to find that David was very concerned about people like me calling him DePepe and wanted to make sure everyone knew the correct pronunciation of his name is DPAP. Because that's all the important information he needed to say in this trial. He said very little except for that. His lawyer said it was a suicide mission and that he planned to target more politicians. Come on, guys. In his underwear? He went out to kill politicians in his underwear with a hammer. Not a gun. No boots on your feet. I mean, no essentials. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense. And of course, we can call this guy mentally ill, especially if he is claiming to have been on a suicide mission. But it doesn't really add up to the story they're trying to tell. This doesn't seem like somebody who's out there trying to kill all our politicians. Because it seems like somebody who didn't give any thought to it whatsoever. So let's take a look at both stories. The official narrative is that a mentally ill man went on a suicide mission in his underwear with a hammer and started with the Pelosi residence, allegedly there for Nancy. The conservative narrative that has been created from the evidence says that this man was in there nailing Mr. Pelosi. They were both on drugs. Something escalated. They had an argument, and out came the goodies that were in this dude's bag, the hammer, which was probably there from having to fix his shitty house where he lives in like a commune, a Democrat commune. So, I'm sure he's always having to repair things, and he just happened to have that stuff on him, because people who are trying to kill people don't go out with a hammer in their underwear to do it. That's just not typically how you would do it, especially if you planned to take out multiple politicians. How do you even get past their alarm system? How did he get on the grounds and in the house before 911 was called?
But in some cases, there's no substitute for experience. And I think that what we have been through with the legislation under the leadership of President Biden, who has done a spectacular job. He's had a better 2 years than most presidents.